Okay guys, it's only a matter of time before my boys come running upstairs and screaming, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. This video is all about writing decimal numbers in expanded form. And we talked about how the fact that if you can do something with whole numbers, you can do it with decimal numbers because it's the same but different. And that's exactly true with putting decimal numbers in expanded form. Let me show you, except I can't find there. Here we go. Okay, so here we have the decimal number 56 and 9/10. And if we want to put this into expanded form, if you remember, expanded form is simply giving the value of each digit, value plus value plus value. And so we can see that there are 3 digits, and remember, zeros don't count. We don't have to give the value of a 0, so there aren't any zeros here. So we're going to end up with 3 pieces of our puzzle when we take it apart. And we also know there's a new school expanded form and an old school expanded form, which is why I have both of them represented here. What's really nice about expanded form of decimals is most of it is something you're already familiar with. If I focus, whoops, wrong button. If I focus on just the whole number part and ignore the decimal universe for a minute, you already know most of the answer. So I want you to ignore the 9/10 and just focus on the whole number 56. Well, we know that the value of the 5 in 56, the 5 is in the tens place, so it's worth 50. And since the 6 is in the ones place, it's worth 6 ones, which is 6. So if I do that in, what is that, new school expanded form, remember, new school expanded form is taking the digit and multiplying it times the place value. So we can see that the 5 is a 5, that's the digit, and it's living in the tens place. So I have 5 times 10. And if you notice, that's where that 50 comes from, because 5 times 10 is 50. For the 6, the digit is a 6, and the 6 is simply in the ones place, which 6 times 1, should be no surprise, is 6. So we're already, if you take a look, if we're doing old school expanded form, we have 2 out of the 3 parts already. If we're doing new school expanded form, we have 2 of the 3 parts already. The only thing that's new, guys, is figuring out how to represent the decimal universe in expanded form. Well, the first thing we need to know is what place value is this digit in? And I'm actually going to do the new school first. So the digit, we can see, the digit's a 9. And now I need to give the place value. Now I can't just put a T for tenths. I have 2 choices. I could either write tenths as a fraction. So I can write it like this, 9 times 1/10. Or what I think is going to be something you're going to see more is if you write it as a decimal. So I need to represent it with 1/10. Well, we're not dealing with the whole number, but I just want to put a 1 in the tenths place. So this means I have a 9 in the tenths place. And a 9 in the tenths place is worth 9/10. So if I'm going to put it in old school expanded form, I need to write 9/10. And you'll notice that there's a 9 in the tenths place, just like there is here. So most of the answers, just old school expanded from whole numbers. We just need to deal with the decimal universe. So let's try another one. This one's a little bit longer. We're going to have a couple more pieces. We're going to have a piece for the 5, a piece for the 6, a piece for the 8, whoops, and a piece for the 9. So you can see here I'm going to have 4 pieces. I'm going to do new school first, and then we'll transfer it to old school. First things first, ignore the decimal universe. Let's just pretend we're working with 506. Well, we have a 5, and that 5 is parked in the ones, tens, hundreds place. So we have a 5 in the hundreds place. The 0 doesn't matter, so I'm going to move to the 6. We have a 6 in the ones place. So we're already halfway through our answer, and it's something we're already experts on. But if we're going to come up with the puzzle piece for the 8 and the puzzle piece for the 9, we're going to need to know what place values they're in. So we have tenths and hundredths. So if I'm doing new school, I have an 8, and the 8 is in the tenths place. So I'm going to represent that by writing 0 and 1/10. Okay? And then for the 9, my 9 is in the hundredths place. So I need to write 0 and 1/100th. Well, I know that to get to the hundredths place, I need to go 2 place values over. So that 1 actually needs to be into the hundredths place. So I'm going to put in that 0 here. So you can see if we read that back, it says 1/100th. So this would be new school expanded form. 8 groups of 1/10, 9 groups of 1/100th. So now if I go back to old school expanded form, let's go back to the 506. The 5 is worth 500 because it's a 5 in the hundreds place. The 6 in the ones place is worth 6. I'm already halfway done with my answer. But now I got to figure out what that 8 is worth. Well, it's an 8 in the tenths place. So it's worth 8/10. This is why we've been practicing writing these numbers. I need to write the number 8/10. And you'll notice that the 8 in my answer is in the tenths place like it is in my original number. For the 9, this is not worth 9 groups of hundredths. It's worth 9/100ths. So I need to write the decimal 9/100ths. To make sure I'm saying 9/100ths, I need to make sure I'm going out to the hundredths place. And that 9 needs to be in the hundredths place. But I don't have any tenths here because I'm just trying to say 9/100ths. So this would be the expanded form old school and new school. I'm trying to be quick here. Let's try another one. Here we're going to have 1, 2, 3 puzzle pieces. So this whole number we do first. Well, 6, it's worth 6. 6 groups of ones. If I do my decimal template, here is a 4 in the hundredths place, so it's worth 4/100ths. So I need to be able to write the decimal 4/100ths. Make sure that it's in the hundredths place. We don't want to do this because that says 4/10. This says 4/100ths. This is incorrect. And then again, this 5 is in the thousandths place. So you have to make sure that you are going to build out this decimal universe to be able to put that 5 in the thousandths place the way it is in the original number. So we're going to end up with zeros here because 5 in the thousandths place is worth 5/1000ths. To go new school, it's simply a 6 in the ones place. It's a 4, and we've already decided it's in the hundredths place, so I need to represent the decimal 1/100th. Or we could have done it like this. You may see it also as 4 and then 1/100th. You can use a fraction. 1/100th and 1/100th mean the same thing. And then, of course, we have 5 groups of, and then we have the thousandths. So I'm going to go tenths, hundredths, and the 1 should be in the thousandths place. Again, I could write it as 5 groups of 1,000th. And again, 1,000th and 1,000th mean the same thing. We've been practicing going from decimal to fraction. That's all I have for you. So now it's time for you to see if you're understanding what I'm talking about. If you're not, no worries. You can always go back and rewatch the video or come and get some teacher help. We'll be happy to explain it to you. Enjoy.